Straight ahead on CCX News, lawmakers tackle tobacco, their proposal that also aims to cut down on the rising use of e-cigarettes. Plus an effort to protect pedestrians at an intersection involving Crystal's busiest street. And the artistic side of a Maple Grove Elementary School principal, his work that drew attention in Seoul, South Korea. CCX News starts right now. Hello everyone and thanks for joining us. The age to buy tobacco products in Minnesota could be changing from 18 to 21.
A bipartisan group of lawmakers announced the proposal Thursday at the state capitol. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more. Delane?
Mike and Alex, over the past couple years, 5 Minnesota cities, including Plymouth, raised the tobacco sales age to 21. Now some members of the state legislature want to make tobacco 21 a statewide law.
Raising the age to 21 is just a logical thing to do. It helps prevent our young people from smoking. It helps reduce death and disease from tobacco products, and it helps reduce access of young people in high schools and elsewhere to deadly tobacco products.
Representative Mike Freiberg of Golden Valley is one of the co-sponsors of the bill that would make Minnesota the 6th state in the nation to have a tobacco 21 law. If passed, the law would also apply to e-cigarettes. Supporters say this bill comes at an important time because youth tobacco use in Minnesota rose for the first time in 17 years, largely because of e-cigs. Representative Freiberg said he's prepared for any potential pushback from business owners who say the law would cut into their profit margins.
There often is when you're talking about public health measures. I mean, we certainly saw it again 10 years ago with the smoke-free laws. A lot of bars and some restaurants were concerned that they would lose business if they were required to go smoke-free. Ultimately, cities and counties passed smoke-free ordinances, and then the state passed a smoke-free law. And I don't think the economic impact was as bad as some of the people were saying going into it. And I think tobacco 21 we would see a similar effect.
The bill would not penalize underage smokers, but rather the people who provided the tobacco to anyone under age 21. If you want to look at all the details of the bill, we have a link on our website at ccxmedia.org.
All right, thank you. Maple Grove officials made the case to the state legislature for a $4 million expansion of the North Metro gun range. The range is owned by Maple Grove but used by 20 different police agencies. On Wednesday, Mayor Mark Stephenson and Police Chief Eric Werner told the House committee it's a matter of keeping training as close to real life as possible.
We have our tactics, our firearms, but bringing in the concepts of de-escalation, bringing in the mental health training, and bringing it all into a room where we can say we have real scenarios, and that's what's going to better prepare all of us when we're facing real-life situations.
The money could come from a state bonding bill that would add 17,000 square feet to the site. Well, one of the most congested crosswalks in the city of Crystal could get some safety improvements. Officials say they are long overdue, but as Sonia Goins reports, first they want to hear from residents.
36th Avenue, just west of Highway 100, is the busiest street in the city of Crystal. About 18,000 cars per day use this stretch of road.
I wouldn't describe it as bad, but we have some traffic issues here.
There's 4 lanes of traffic, including an HOV lane. Police often patrol this spot because of various traffic concerns.
The bridge is higher, kind of high up on the street, so you have a lot of sightline issues. And then we also have a right turn on red exiting the highway.
Sergeant John Kurtz says 7 tickets were issued just this morning. Some were for speeding.
I issued a citation for 46 miles an hour in a 30 zone this morning.
The posted speed limit is 30, but we caught motorists going much faster.
Speeds get a little bit high on 36th Avenue. I think that's because it does link up with Highway 100 and people are anticipating starting to get on that highway and get up to highway speeds.
The high speeds and traffic flow make it difficult for pedestrians to cross.
Pedestrians have to cross 5 legs of traffic, which is a pretty long crossing. Now there is a slight middle refuge area to kind of break that up, but it's absolutely a large distance to travel.
This summer, the city wants to make improvements at the crosswalk. Officials are reaching out to the public to get their suggestions.
We're also looking at straightening the crosswalk across 36 potentially to try and make that a shorter crossing distance and improve some sight lines. And then also looking at enhancing the middle median area so that there's a little bit safer place for our pedestrians to wait while they make kind of a 2-phase crossing.
In Crystal, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Residents can provide feedback by going to Crystal's website, and we will have a link at our website, ccxmedia.org.
The look of Maple Grove's transit buses will change over the next few months. The city has used the same logo design since the service started 28 years ago, and now city officials say that look is outdated, and they say refreshed branding will improve consistency for the transit system. And here's what the new logo will look like on Maple Grove transit buses. People who use the Dial-A-Ride bus will also notice a name change. Since few people actually dial anymore, the new name of that service will become My Ride. Well, imagine being able to create your own ending to a best-selling author's story.
That is exactly what a group of students at Osseo Middle School is doing.
What if I'm not good enough? What if I become a joke? Is this what I'm expected to be? Well, I'm here to tell you that these labels do not matter.
About 40 7th and 8th grade students wrote their own ending of a young adult story for the Unfinished Storybox project. It's a national effort that begins with dozens of famous authors starting their own story, but then leaving it unfinished for students to pick up and continue the writing.
They can add characters and change the plot twists and make things happen. So it's really fun for them to do something that's kind of freeing versus nobody's reading it, nobody's really grading it. It's just for them to be free and creative.
The Osseo students are the only ones in Minnesota who participated in the Storybox project. Now they're packing up their box of stories, which will eventually go back to the original authors, and some of the students' work could be published in an anthology or a collection of stories. Still ahead, our School Spotlight takes a look at the youngest of learners in the Brooklyn Center School District.
Plus, the playoffs begin for some of the top local boys basketball teams. We'll have first-round highlights.
But first, a cool and quiet Friday. But looking ahead to next week, a big warm-up is coming. We'll be right back. A Maple Grove principal received a special honor for what he does in his off time.
Tim Brown posts his artwork on Instagram, and that's where it caught the eye of a gallery owner in South Korea.
I've been looking at your stuff. I like it. We're going to do an international art exhibit during the Olympics here. Would you be interested in having one of your pieces shown? And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, is this for real?
Tim Brown uses different apps on his iPad to fuse layers of art together, like this piece called Bubblegum Typhoon, which was featured at a contemporary art exhibit in Seoul, South Korea. Brown says he's a self-taught artist who has dabbled in drawing, photography, and now digital art. He shares his artwork with students along with an important message.
Their comment to me was, well, you should be an artist, not a principal. And so my message to them was, you can be both. You can be both. I am a principal, but I'm also an artist on the side. You don't have to pick one or the other.
Brown says his artwork hasn't been featured in a gallery-style setting since a 6th grade art fair in Grant County, Minnesota. He does hang a few pieces in his office at Rush Creek Elementary, but you can follow him on his Instagram account, which is posted on our website. Well, in this week's School Spotlight, we focus on some really young kids.
Eric Nelson brings us to a place in Brooklyn Center that specializes in early childhood family education and preschool.
It's very important to us that everybody feels that they can come here, feel welcome, play, get questions answered, and just not turn anybody away.
Inside this Brooklyn Center building, the seeds of knowledge are being planted.
I can help you.
At the community corner, preschool kids begin a learning process that teaches them basic core values that are crucial for their future.
Colors, numbers, how to be a friend, and mostly the number one thing preschoolers learn is just how to be in school.
It builds their knowledge in cooperating with others, so how to play. I mean, these are all skills that need to be learned and taught.
Ashley Peters teaches preschool for 3-year-olds and also early childhood family education classes in the Brooklyn Center District.
Go around and say hello to everybody.
ECFE brings kids and family members together in the classroom.
It's a huge part of our week, so ECFE, Daddy, ECFE.
It's a winning template as they learn in tandem and build stronger bonds.
It's great to be able to have some time that you can set aside with your child where you're just getting to be be a parent with them and not deal with email or dishes or any of that other stuff.
We're a really welcoming environment, and there's no judgment about any parenting type or any parenting strategy, and we are always really supportive of each other.
On occasion, family members leave the room and are separated from their kids. This gives them an early taste of independence from their parents or relatives.
It really does help with the separation and knowing that mommy or daddy or grandma, grandpa, whoever will come back, and that it's okay to be away from them and to play and have fun.
It's something that we value as a family, and something that's very beneficial for those little ones.
Another benefit of ECFE is flexibility. Families can set their own schedule.
And it's a drop-in class, so families can choose to come one week, and maybe if the next week they don't come.
Income is also not an issue. ECFE is free.
We take everybody. This program is meant to support the community. We don't want to turn anybody away.
In Brooklyn Center, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
Still ahead, what your high school transcripts have in common with the village people.
But first, the Hopkins girls basketball team is set to play for a section championship, and John Jacobson has that next in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The Hopkins girls basketball team faces Minneapolis South in the Section 6-4A final Thursday night. The Tigers upset Wayzata in the semifinals, and the Royals know they'll be facing a focused opponent that's riding high. Here's Jason Malillo.
Hopkins coaches and players expected to be facing rival Wayzata for the section title.
Wayzata's been a great team all year, and so is South, but they had beaten South about a week prior, and it wasn't very close. So I feel for Wayzata, but it surprised the heck out of me.
So now the Royals' road to state will go through Minneapolis South, a very good team that Hopkins is not taking lightly.
Oh, well, both the Hill Sisters are very good players. They're sound offensively and defensively. They're looking to push the ball. South overall is a good team. We're not looking past them. We're going to come hard, no mercy.
They're the underdog, so they're going to come out with a lot of fire, so we have to make sure we have a lot of tempo to our game.
Hopkins' MO is always to play relentless defense that triggers fast offense. That style takes a lot of energy, especially in more intense playoff games. To that end, the Royals are fortunate this season to have a deep well of players.
This year, more than any year, we're going deeper than we have in the past. And our bench has been very good to us this year. And we feel like when we substitute, we really don't take a step back.
Coach Cosgrove's motto this time of year is survive and advance. He doesn't care how his team wins, as long as they win. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Well, highlights from the Hopkins South game Friday starting at 4 here on CCX News. The boys basketball playoffs started this week. Several local teams compete in Section 5-4A. That includes top seed Park Center. The Pirates hosted Mounds View in the quarterfinals. 8 seed Mounds View comes to play. Josh Albers to Michael Fahim for the big jam, and the Mustangs lead early. Park Center gets it going. Emmanuel Tamba with a nice screen. He hits the floater in the lane for 2. And they turn up the pressure defensively. Jarius Cook steals the pass and glides in for the layup to tie the game at 16. Good passing in the half-court offense leads to an inside bucket for DJ Purnell as the Pirates go in front. And Cook really heats up in this game, hitting 3 consecutive threes. Park Center builds a 15-point halftime lead. They go on to win 85-64. They'll play Spring Lake Park in the semifinals Tuesday. Also in Section 5, second seed and defending champion Champlin Park face Centennial. Matthew Weifels hits a 3 from the corner, giving the Cougars an early 8-7 lead. The Rebels then go on an 11-0 run. Jared Walter with one of his 3 first-half three-pointers. He finishes the game with 12 points. Champlin Park in transition. Benedetto ahead to Josiah Strong. Nice move there for the hoop. Rebels up 10, but they lead by just 4 at halftime. Early second half. Strong drains a 3 here, puts the Rebels up by 10, and it puts Strong over 1,000 career points, the 6th Rebel to reach that milestone. And they're out and running again, and big Alex John rattles the rim with this dunk. Champlin Park at one point gets the lead to 20 points before Centennial rallies again. Rebels do win, but barely, 81-78. They advance to next week's section semifinals. In another Section 5-4A game, third seed Osseo faced Irondale. Cheeky Okonkwo gets the tough rebound and put back in the first half here for the O's. Adam Price dices through the Osseo defense and scores for Irondale. And then Price launches a long three. He scores 20 points in the first half. Zach Tyson penetrates and zips the pass to Emmett Page. He cans the three. This game tied 32-all at halftime. Second half, Richard Mulba sends the long pass to Page for an Orioles hoop. And Page is a beast in the second half. A three-pointer from the corner drops as Osseo starts to build the lead. He finishes the game with 35 points. And he'll float a nice pass into Okonkwo on the pick and roll. He scores underneath, putting the Orioles up 15. They win 74-60. They'll play Champlin Park in the semis. The Cooper boys are now in Class 3A. The Metro West Conference champions are the number 3 seed in the section. They hosted Minneapolis Roosevelt in the quarterfinals. Hawks on the move. The pass to Jalen Miller, who lays in 2 of his 11 points. Cooper leads 6-4. Coach Bo Powell's team opens up a lead. Nathan Hill drives hard down the lane for 2, and the Hawks go up by a dozen at 18-6. But the Teddies come back. They get a steal, and Desi Sims takes it back the other way. Sims scores 19 points in the game, and Roosevelt leads by 7 at halftime. The second half, though, is pretty much all Cooper. Look out for Trocon Massey. Explodes to the basket for the dunk there. He finished the game with 16 points. 4 Cooper players score in double figures. They win 81-58. They'll play at Orono in the section semifinals Saturday night. Highlights from 4 section girls basketball finals Friday, starting at 4 here on CCX. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right. Wow, John.
Yes.
Up next, lifting the excitement level over a standardized test.
A source of rebel pride when we come back.
Finally, what the Village people have in common with your high school transcripts.
Why the MCA? You're really asking me why the MCA? What you should know is that it sure will show when you send in your high school transcripts.
Have you ever been so excited to take a standardized test? Well, Principal Michael George has made the Minnesota Comprehensive Assessments, or MCA, a rebel rallying cry over at Champlin Park High School, with the help of a few seniors who put together this YouTube video. There's a reason to do well on the test, of course. When you apply to colleges, your MCA scores are listed on your transcripts. The results are also a reflection of your schools, so as Principal George says, relax, take a deep breath, and put your best foot forward. Maybe even hum a little song, right?
It's cool. At Champlin Park, the MCAs take place after finals are over to limit the distractions.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a great video.
Good idea. That's all the news for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we'll see you back here again tomorrow, starting at 4.